Says we're live. I believe we are live. Happy Thursday, everybody. Either or Thursday around Raiderland as we come to you from the Arctic Air Studios. One more basically half day, maybe, of the need for some Arctic air and then cool fall weather coming in. And then pretty soon it's going to be time for you to not want the Arctic air in your house. You're going to want it warmed up, and then you know what to do. You call them bear. All right. Brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza. You know it's National Farmer Day. They've got a cool special website. Check it out. Domino's.com. Get the app supporting FFA and other ag-related industries. Happy National Farmers Day. Good job. Also by South Plains College. The road to Raiderland begins in Levelland. A lot of great Red Raiders start off as great Texans. You can look into it. Pretty cool continuing education stuff as well. Lots of neat things for you. And multiple campuses, which is kind of handy. South Plains College. All right. We got stuff going on tonight. Either or Thursday, we got a Texas Tech band question for you. Not BANNED, not like something happened, but like the band, the Goin Band, an either or question on the Goin Band. We've lost another tough guy. We've lost Walt Garrison now as he passes away. The original cowboy, the Dallas Cowboys, 66-74. And then we'll ask the question because they're debating it. Should the UIL approve this weekend the idea of adding girls flag football in the state of Texas? All that waiting for you. United Supermarkets text line ready for you, 806-772-0197. Use that if you're on Twitter X or on YouTube Live. Let's get it going in 3. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. You start your day there. Got the question of the day waiting for you. Cool stuff on the website, hot links that you didn't even know you needed to know about. And then, as Alan points out, and I thank you for the kind words, you can find 60 seconds of Raiderland, our daily commentary. The first one rolled out officially today. So you can check that out at TheRaiderland.com. Yes, Craig, the talking box is on, Jim. Glad you're out there tonight. See how smooth this is. Ooh, not very smooth at all when you get right down to it. So we'll go as long as the conversation is good tonight. We'll see what we can get into. Obviously, there's always Texas Tech football to talk about. The Chiefs are in action against the Broncos tonight. Whatever else may be on your mind, it's a good night just to jump in. We do have the ALCS set. It's Astros and Rangers. The cheating Astros versus just almost the virginically pure Texas Rangers. Which side are you going to be on? Craig says his dad used to rodeo with Walt Garrison. That's pretty cool. Old Tom Landry trying to stop him from rodeoing while he was a Dallas Cowboy. That didn't work out too well. Yeah, we found out that news. Woke up to that this morning. The loss of, just another tough guy. That generation. Butkus, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Far too many of them gone. Here's your either-or question today. When it comes to halftime, you either sit and watch the Texas Tech band or you get up and do other stuff. When it comes to the Goin Band and the halftime show, which seems to get longer and longer and longer, the NFL can knock out a halftime in 15 minutes. High school and college should get 18 minutes, no more. Either watch the Goin Band, or you kind of go to the concession stand, go to the bathroom, do whatever, mill around. There's a lot of milling around. I see a lot of milling around there in the stands and reports from the concourse. As I sit high above you in the press box, I hear lots of reports of milling around. So where are you on that? Are you a sit in your seat, watch the Goin Band person or not? I, for one, want all the Goin Band we can get. Less canned music, more going to band music. But honestly, be honest here. How many of you keep your seats during that portion? Hi there, Gary. Hi there, Jared. Hi there, Celia. We have that. We have, of course, Texas Tech and Kansas State just on the field. I was on with my friends on K-Man Radio today. I don't know if that was airing today or tomorrow. It was a taped recording talking about the game, and they're beat up and they're coming off a frustrating loss, and Texas Tech putting a few things together. And I still say this, I think, is the absolute best time for Texas Tech to catch Kansas State. That you get them here, you get them in Lubbock, You get them while they're hurting. Les Gorilla, you can't have Les Gorilla because the Gorilla, well, I mean, he brings you, you know, people, actors and singers that you like and stuff. So, yeah, you got to have that. By the way, this was late last night or after the show, I guess. Cleaning up bandwagon Wednesday on the United Supermarkets text line. After 50 years, I think I'm finally off the Cowboys wagon. It's hard. Some of us come to that conclusion earlier rather than sooner in life. So we welcome you. There are other things, and one of them is tonight. You can watch the Kansas City Chiefs dismantle the Broncos. Or will they? Or will they on Thursday night? 10.5 the number. Alan, while I like the Goin Band, I don't go to the games for the fuzzy hats at halftime. I will do as I please, he says. Craig, I'm usually still in line at the concession stand after getting in line with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Am I getting reports here that the concession stand lines are bad inside Jones Stadium? Are we having problems? Do they still have tape for recording? Yeah, live on videotape or videotaped or something. Gary, no milling. Watch the band. Band made a difference in Waco on Saturday. Yeah, it did. Got a little love from Joey McGuire and the Texas Tech coaches. All right, so there's one that's sitting in the stands and watching. There's one who says he'll do as he please. Didn't come to watch the band. Denver will dismantle themselves. Kansas City just has to sit back and watch. Yeah, this is I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. By not doing it, I'm sure, one, that Kansas City will roll. If I bet on Kansas City, Denver would cover. If I bet on Denver to cover, Kansas City would roll. I'll just sit back and watch this one. But this is where the NFL makes their living. Now, Denver, make no mistake, historically bad defense. In almost every metric you can quantify, if you're into quantifying metrics, this Denver defense is horrid. They made Chicago in that offense look almost average. But Chicago being Chicago, you know what the outcome was. But this Broncos defense is just unreal bad. So, yeah, the Chiefs should absolutely roll. They're a juggernaut. They do whatever they want offensively. And yet somehow in the NFL, this is that game that Kansas City wins by a field goal. You know, a late Butker field goal. And everybody's scratching their going, how the heck did that happen? Because it's the NFL. The only reason to watch Kansas City versus Denver is to see when the cold front is headed our way. I would say cool front, not really a cold front. I mean, it's going to drop temperatures into the 70s tomorrow, maybe upper 60s. That's not cold yet. That's cool. But it is jacket weather for football this weekend. Speaking of football, yeah, Denver already tanking. Might as well start tonight. If they haven't been tanking, I would tell people that I have been tanking. Chris is joining the show either or Thursday. Do you join in with the folks who sit and stay for the band, or do you get up while the band is playing at halftime? Either you sit in your seats and watch the band, or you get up and you do your thing, whatever that is. And are we hearing reports that lines are long at Tech concession stands? I wouldn't know. I want Diet Coke, I get up, I go back to the Diet Coke thing, I get a fountain Diet Coke. I want a dilly bar, I get a dilly bar. I want a biscuit, I get a hot biscuit. Now, obviously, I have to ask David Collier if he wants anything when I get up. Same thing with Don Williams. Mr. Williams, can I get you anything while I'm up? And then if they say no, I proceed and I go get the stuff I want. Yeah, is she going to be there tonight? What's the deal? Is she going to be there? Seriously. Damon's a band watcher. Is that sort of like being a wheel watcher? Remember the Wheel of Fortune promos? I'm a wheel watcher. Anyone? Bueller? Jared was in the band growing up, loved marching a show. Yes, I stay for the Goin Band. Go get a all hands cocktail. That doesn't sound legal. Cocktails. Cocktails. Can't have that. So, yeah, that's the either-or question. Texas Tech, Kansas State. We celebrate Walt Garrison, the toughest cowboy, maybe of them all. I think it was Bob Lilly who told the story about him Garrison was all beat up, and he was in, the whirlpool, the old metal whirlpool. We didn't even call it a hot tub back then. It was a whirlpool. How's the food in the press box? Who usually caters it? It's done by whatever company handles Texas Tech catering services, so it's an in-house type deal, and it's usually pretty good. The people around the league love it. Most people that come in rank it amongst the best in college football. Does Collier still double dip in the media queso? Yeah, it's not very warm. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, there you go. Collier and the queso. Lubbock testing the tornado warning system tomorrow to cover when Taylor Swift lands in Lubbock to watch the game. Yeah, right. Although they will be doing, it's Friday, isn't it? Do they do that at, what time is that? 9:30? Is it 9:30 or 10:30 Friday mornings when they test the tornado sirens? But they do it so low, so it's not to scare the people. Crank it up to 11, man. Rip the knob off. I want to hear the damn sirens. I've heard them like a handful of times. First time they were testing it, it sounded like a dog was in pain, like birthing pains of some, Rottweiler or something. It was not anything that made me go, death is imminent, other than for the dog. Either or question, either stay and watch the Goin Band, or do you get up and move around? Then we've got Tech and K-State. Walt Garrison is in the whirlpool. I'm old enough to have actually been in the metal whirlpool. How many people with us tonight can say that? The metal whirlpool with a fan, it had a little cage around it so you didn't stick your foot in there and get decapitated. Cat and heat, same thing. So, famous for chewing his Copenhagen and Skull and all that. So they go in there and they see a snorkel sticking up out of the water, and Garrison's down there. Big old thing of chew, and he's because he's back, he couldn't get far enough under, so he's dipping while using a snorkel while underwater in a whirlpool. Pretty good. What has happened with our society? If the tornado siren goes off, look outside for the dark cloud spinning. Yeah, but turn up loud when you test it. All right, we get to an interesting deal at the UIL. It's in committee. If it gets moved out of committee this weekend, it can go to the full assembly for a vote. Should the UIL approve flag football for girls? Should the UIL add girls flag football? Apparently, this is a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. 7 states apparently have it at the high school level. Read a story, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Online. It's really, I guess, kind of big in Fort Worth. And if it's big in Fort Worth, if it's big in Cowtown, my gosh, why not? So they actually are taking up a proposal that would go out of committee and then get voted on fully. Yay or nay, girls flag football? I'm a hard pass on that, by the way, for a lot of different reasons. CJ's been in a whirlpool. Coronado training room with ice whirlpool. Hated Coach Kirk on those days. Here's the radar. So, yeah, there are a lot of different reasons why I would be voting no on adding flag football for girls or otherwise. First off, it's not a real sport. All right, can we all come together that flag football is not a real sport? It's an activity. It's something you do when you're like 4 years old and 5 years old and you can't wear a helmet, but it's not a real sport. Second, why add flag football? Why not add football? That if enough girls want to play football, you can play football. Pad up, put the helmet on, everything else. So then the genesis for that becomes, well, the girls don't want to play football because it's too violent, it's too whatever. Then it becomes, too hard. Okay, that's fine. Now I'll get to the last thing last as we go through and deconstruct why there should be no UIL girls flag football or otherwise. The logistics of it, when are you going to do it, right? This time of year you've got volleyball. This time of year you've got cross country going on. You would then move into the dead of winter, and that would be the basketball and the soccer season. Then we would have, coming up in the spring, softball and track. When are you going to play it? Where are you going to play it? Let's see, Craig. I played the last year of flag football, 7th grade, Smiley Wilson. Sad days. Horrible habits being taught. Very dangerous to have junior hires playing flag football. Hated it. Almost didn't play. I was basically told I had to. Didn't want to. Is lacrosse approved? That is both a boy and a girl sport, and also the fastest growing sport with an opportunity to play in college. I don't think UIL sponsors lacrosse. I don't think so. Could be wrong. I know a lot of the private schools played in the Metroplex. My cousin's children played it, but I don't think UIL sponsors it. Do field hockey instead of flag football. Turf burns and hockey sticks. Another one says, I'd rather see girls field hockey. Yeah, I think there are a lot of reasons why not to do this. But again, first, it's just not a sport. Second off, though, what is the next thing that's going to happen right after you do this? What's going to happen? You're going to see a tremendous amount of young men decide they want to play flag football. I guarantee you. That would be the next thing that would absolutely happen, is that you would see all the boys who football's too rough, it's too tough, they don't want to play, they're not good enough. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, flag football? Girls? Yeah, I'm playing. You know that's exactly where that would head, right? So don't open up the can of worms. Don't bother, don't do it. It's not an analogous sport in any form or fashion from a Title IX standpoint. And again, it's not really a sport. Flag football is not a sport. It's an activity. That they are even taking it up in committee, I'm kind of surprised. But once again, so many logistical elements against it. Aside from that, problem after problem. Don't create the problem. Don't do it. Now, try High and High clubs want to play a little flag football. That's cool. Intramurals, that's where it belongs, stuff like that. But no, it doesn't need to be a UIL sponsored sport. Because it's not a sport, and then just not everything needs to be UIL sponsored. But I say again, who would it really be for, and what are you going to draw from within your other sports and girls athletics? I guarantee you the volleyball coach and the cross country coach, they don't want to sit there and have to deal with somebody saying, I'll just play flag football. Go get my letter jacket that way. But that's out there, and I'm sure there will be people in favor of it. And I won't be shocked if it gets out of the committee and goes to a full vote. Because nothing shocks me anymore. Sometimes I'm mildly surprised, but basically nothing shocks me. So your thoughts, flag football, UIL, yes, no, or otherwise. We have either or question today. When it comes to the Goin Band, you either stay in your seats and watch, or you get up, mill about, and do your thing. Then we've got Tech and Kansas State actual on-field stuff if you want to discuss it. They were very intrigued by the idea of Texas Tech running the football. When I did the interview with the Kansas State radio folks earlier today, and not in a negative way, not in a like a what, is this really? Are we really seeing what we're seeing? And I'm like, yeah. Like, how long has it been? Well, you got to go back to the 90s. That most of these 100-yard game streaks and rushing streak, all the numbers you're seeing, you're going back to the Spike Dykes days since you saw this. And I think what it's allowing you to do is you've got a beat-tail quarterback in Baron Morton who has not been able to hardly throw the ball at all during practice and is still probably even limited in the games on how good he can be, not just from a rush standpoint, but from a physicality standpoint. You better be grateful you're running the football. And you better continue to do it to take the pressure off him. Allow him to continue to rehab, get a little better as it goes along. Let's see, Jared. What high school athletic director wants to add another sport to pay for? Equipment, coach, training, staff, location, facilities. How about we pay teachers more if we have money available for flag football? I'm with you on that, by the way. Well, there's always plenty of money to do what they want to do, because they always do what they want to do. Every college football commentator still thinks Tech football circa 2003. The air raid is dead. Has been dead for a long time. Agreed. Folks just don't pay attention. David Cotter from KMAC 28. Tech has actually rushed for more yards in 3 or 4 of the last 7 games against Kansas State. I did not know that note. That's a hell of a note. Of course, let's see, against Kansas State here lately, it hasn't exactly translated into a ton of success. As you look back, you've lost 11 of the last 12, but you did beat them there in 2015. What was that quarterback's name who helped score 59 points? 59, 44. Streaky series. Tech won the first 3, then lost 3 in a row. The first 3 were 33, 63, and 1986. Yes, in 1986, you were scheduling Kansas State because you desperately needed a non-conference win. Coming out of the throes of the Jerry Moore years, that was the Dave McWilliams year. That's what you were doing. You were scheduling Kansas State because you had to. Then you owned them there from, 2001. Where was that? Okay, that was in Lubbock. That's what I thought. You lost 3 in a row to start the Big 12. 96, 97, the 97 Lubbock game, the Zebby Lethridge game, 13-2. That was the game that after it was over, the next week on the Williams and Hyatt show, Zebby Lethridge's mom called the show, and she was not happy with either me or Don or any of the callers. 13-2. That was the if not the beginning of the end, maybe the beginning of the middle of the end for Spike Dykes. And you would come back in 98, obviously, and have an okay year. 99, no bueno. That might mark that November 1st day in 1997 might actually really kind of mark this is going to end fairly soon, and it limped through 2 more seasons for Spike Dykes, but that was kind of it, you know. Then you lost, you beat them, you won 3 straight there, then you beat them every year, or lost 3 straight, then you beat them every year from 01, 04, 05, 08, 09, and then they got rid of Ron Prince. Got done with that, and it's been bad ever since. Bill Snyder isn't coming out of retirement. He's not walking through that door anytime soon. Deuce Vaughn isn't walking through that door. Kansas State gets rolled by Tech. I would take just a 7-point victory. I think if I'm Texas Tech in the game. I think it's about a field goal game right now. I'd take 7 points and drive it like a Stoli. Again, you were playing with a limited quarterback here. You have to be cognizant of that. You have to be very careful. You can't do anything to risk injury to Morton. If he's out, your season's probably done. I mean, that's kind of where we are right now, right? That if Morton gets hurt, you could probably forget going to a bowl game. Forget all this 7, 8, 9 win talk. Forget it. Was it not North Texas loss that thumped Spike's coaching? Yeah, that was in 1999. That was bad, but it was already trending that way. That was going to be his last year, no matter what. It didn't help. Hey, Weston, glad you're watching. Alan's calling it. Tech wins 34-22. It's going to look a lot like the Baylor game. I'd take that. Hey, Harry, glad you're getting in today. Talking about flag football. It's not a sport. We're talking about Walt Garrison, who probably didn't play flag football. We're talking about Tech and Kansas State. We're talking about the Goin Band, whether you want it or not. Now you're caught up, Harry. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Huh? You just going to sit there? Just going to sit there and watch, Harry? I mean, you jumped in, threw yourself right into this thing. Tech has a lead of 17 plus by the third quarter. Pull the quarterback, hand the ball off every play. Hey, can we say by the end of the third quarter, maybe? And don't pull him out, but just hand off the ball every play. Pretty much. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem doing that. None whatsoever. If you can get the lead, you got to get the lead. That defense look as physically dominant as they did against Baylor. It's one of the stories that I still think is lost in the shuffle. Is in less than a year you completely flipped the script on Baylor and you were bigger, faster, stronger. Your homie plays tonight. Reckon Swifty will be there. I don't know. Is Taylor going to be there or not? I do not know. Walt have to do the Oklahoma drill against Butkus and Hollop when he got to the football field in the sky. They probably gave him a dip of snuff. Said, welcome in. Welcome in. As long as we're running the ball 70%, we'll be okay. Yeah, 65, 35, somewhere through there. I mean, we're not opposed to throwing the football here at Texas Tech when it suits us. But remember, when you throw the ball, three things can happen, and two of them are bad. Let's keep that in mind always. The mantra of all great Red Raiders. Met Walt Garrison at the Santa Rosa Rodeo back in the 70s, bulldogging. He wore a mask. Good for him. Got to keep that pretty face for all them commercials that he was doing. You know, the Cowboys tried to write it into his contract that he couldn't rodeo, and he didn't sign the contract. And they were like, oh, something wrong? Yeah, he signed the contract. Tech runs the ball 40 times. They will win Saturday. 22, another 10, 32, 30, 36. I'll say magic number is 36, given your Taj Brooks touches and your Cameron Valdez touches. We'll take away any quarterback scrambles that are not absolutely any quarterback runs or anything. I'll take that out of it. Running back plays, 36, I would say ought to get you there. What's 36 times 6? Yeah. Have you seen him be a factor? Yeah. I would ask the question, which wide receivers are a factor right now? Which Texas Tech wide receivers are game difference makers? White? Price? Who are they? I keep hearing that this is a really talented receiving corps, and I keep not seeing it. You know, keep not seeing it. There's a solar. Is it a solar or a lunar? Oh, it's a lunar. Making a trip to Buddy's and Andrews just to see it. Steak fingers. Good. Good steak fingers. Yeah, I keep hearing about this wide receiving corps, and I think some folks have fallen into the trap that they think just because they're Texas Tech wide receivers that they're automatically great. They hadn't proven it to me yet. Hadn't seen it. Aiken is the best. Yeah, he sounds like a guest star on Hee Haw though. Coy Aiken. But it is solar. Why do I keep thinking it's a lunar eclipse? Oh well. We'll get that ring of fire and everything will be cool. What time are we going to see it then? If it's a solar eclipse, isn't that bad? Doesn't that mean the world's ending? I should probably get my affairs in order by this weekend if that's the case. Love to see a Baylor Cup reverse run with a guard tackle pull. A Baylor Cup reverse, like a true reverse or an end around, with a G block kick out. Either way. 11:30. Well, we can get that over with quick then. I guess if we're still alive, we can go watch Texas Tech play. That'll be the deal. All right. Time to shut it down for our folks on Twitter X and on YouTube. it asks us when we end the stream, how things went. So let's end the stream.